Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this discussion of our midterm essay. Your assignment in the coming weeks, actually due on the 17th, is to create an essay in a timed environment using the skills you've learned thus far in the class. And so I have a folder for you in the Modules tab titled Midterm Essay Articles. You have access to the 3 articles we're going to be using for this assignment. The first of which is Why We Crave Horror Movies by Stephen King. The second of which is This Is Your Brain on True Crime Stories by Paige Smith. And the third, Why Are We Drawn to True Crime Stories by Scott Bond. These 3 articles will build the information you need in order to be successful in this essay, so do make sure to read through all 3 carefully. You're going to need to use at least one direct quote from each source in your essay. So read through them, highlight the quotes you think will work well for you. Make sure that you're including them in your essay. Do make sure that you are including an in-text citation along with those quotes. Your essay prompt is linked for you here, as is the rubric I'll be using to grade the assignment. So everything you need to be successful in the midterm is located for you in the midterm essay articles folder in the modules tab of Canvas. The way you'll access your midterm is go into quizzes or assignments. It's located in both. You'll select the midterm essay. There's just one question, and that question is your essay. Then you will go through and answer the question in essay form. And so if we take a look at how that's actually going to work, your quiz instructions, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to write a synthesis and analysis of the 3 articles provided on Canvas. I've linked them for you here, in addition to linking them in the Modules tab. You're going to answer at least 2 of the following questions in your essay, and we want those answers to be in-depth discussions of the ideas used in the article. You want to incorporate quotes to support your opinions. Remember, you need at least 1 quote per article or 3 direct quotes in your essay. We are going to be doing this in a timed environment, so do make sure to set aside those 2 hours as you write your assignment. The questions you're going to be answering, you get to choose 2 from this list. Why do you think that there has been a resurgence of interest in the topic of true crime or unsolved crimes recently? What is it about the unknown that people can't get enough of? And can you think of an example of this phenomenon that was not mentioned in the articles? All 3 articles are talking about why, in particularly American culture, we're kind of obsessed with this true crime genre. Why are we so interested in it? Why is there such a movement toward documentaries about Ted Bundy or Stephen Avery or bank heists? If you look on Netflix, there's a whole slew of documentaries on true crime. There's also a huge market in TV for true crime kind of themed shows. If you think of how many different versions of CSI there are, CSI Miami, CSI New York, or the Law and Orders, Law and Order Criminal Intent, Law and Order SVU, there's a million, right? NCIS. You've got all kinds of dramas and comedies and shows about crime, solving crime, and the people who are associated with that line of work. So clearly there's a demand for this kind of entertainment. What is it about this topic that makes us interested in it? So you'll be answering that in question number 1. 2, do you think that our brains can be shaped and changed by what we view? In one of those articles, there's a really nice look at the psychology of watching true crime shows, different ways even the chemistry of our brain can change. So do you think that our brains can be shaped and changed by what we view? Do you believe our psyche is positively or negatively affected by viewing darker materials such as true crime or unsolved criminal cases? Question 3, do you think art, in this case art can be categorized as movies, books, television shows, paintings, basically anything that's created? So do you think art reflects reality? If so, give specific examples from popular culture, movies, books, music, etc. to support your opinion. So do you think we are so interested in true crime because we experience something along those lines in real life? Because art would then reflect reality. It would hold a mirror up to what we experience every day. So are we feeling dissatisfied? We're worried because there seems to be more crime, and so we like to see crime solved on TV because it makes us feel safe and secure to know, even if it's fiction, somebody's out there fighting the good fight to keep us normal people safe from the bad guys. So do you think art reflects reality? And 4, what is it about the human condition that allows us to connect to criminals and or victims. So shows that were really popular like Dexter or Breaking Bad get you rooting for the bad guy. There's a big resurgence even in Disney movies where you've got the villain being portrayed as not so bad. The Maleficent movies that have come out with Angelina Jolie take a bad guy and make you sympathize with them. If you look at the Avengers, the character of Loki was supposed to be a bad guy, but you kind of sympathize with him. Take a look at any of the popular shows right now, and they make your villains much more relatable. So how do we relate to a villain, but also want the good guys to win in the end? Talk about that in question number 4. All your work must be carefully proofread and edited. You have 2 hours to complete this essay. I would highly, highly suggest you read the articles, highlight the quotes you want, create an essay outline before beginning the timed midterm assignment. You have 2 hours to complete this. Set yourself up for success by doing some work ahead of time. Read through the articles, make sure you understand them, highlight the quotes you want to use, create an outline for yourself, and you'll be much, much more successful. When you're ready to answer this essay, you'll just go into the quiz, begin typing your response, and then click submit once you've written the essay. Do remember that we're not just answering these questions. This is an essay, so it does need to have an introductory paragraph with a clear thesis. It needs to have 2 body paragraphs at least that are going to be answering your questions here. And then you also want to make sure that you've got a conclusion to wrap it all up. So we have some help for you to create something that's going to be workable. Once again, if you go into the modules tab, you scroll down and take a look at the midterm essay rubric, you'll see exactly what things you need to do to be successful here. And so if we take a look at that rubric, I'm going to pull it up for you. There are a couple categories I'm looking at to determine what essays are going to do well. And so I want to make sure that you've got an introduction, a thesis, and a conclusion. All of those elements need to be present in your assignment. You're also going to need to include a summary paragraph. So after your introduction, make a summary paragraph that tells me a little bit about each of the articles. 2 or 3 sentences summarizing the major idea of each of the 3 articles, and then connect it in a transition sentence back to your thesis, some of the big ideas you'll be discussing. After you've written your intro with a thesis, you've written your summary paragraph, then you're going to write 2 synthesis paragraphs minimum. 1 paragraph for each question you're going to be answering. The synthesis is your argument, arguing your answer to that question using support from the articles. Remember, you need at least 3 direct quotes. We do want to make sure that this is a well-organized essay, that you've got clear transitions between paragraphs, that you're linking all of your writing back to the thesis and the argument being made there. We also want to make sure that you've got good mechanics, that you've carefully proofread, and that you're including MLA formatted in-text citations for each of the quotes you use. This is how your essay will be scored. So take time to read through this rubric, make sure that your writing that you're planning to do aligns itself well with the rubric so that you can earn your maximum score. All of that's available for you in the modules. You can access this assignment through the quizzes tab or through the assignments tab. So familiarize yourself with the articles, write yourself an outline, and then set aside 2 hours to complete this essay in the timed quiz environment. If you have any questions, as always, reach out. I'm happy to help. Good luck and happy writing.